Season 17 is almost done. 18 is around the corner, which means you're getting our reprise / new raid, depending if you're a D1 player or not. It's very, very, very likely going to be King's Fall / Wrath. My money's on King's Fall. Don't say Crota. I swear to God, stop huffing the copium. It's going to be King's Fall. Moving on, you want to get ready for the raid as fast as possible because Bungie let us know that the raid launches 3 days into the new season, August 26th on Friday. So you want to get to all the juice in the artifact as much as humanly possible out of the 25 slots. I would say you want to aim for at least half of them, bare minimum, if you can, in those 3 days. So obviously the large portion of that is going to be bounties, and I'll get into bounties in a second. But I wanted to cover XP tips in general first, especially for people that are just getting into the end game or new to the game in general. First up, your Ghost. You always want to have this Blinding Light perk on. As you can see, increased XP gains by 12%. It's a 6 cost. So always have this on, and always double check that it is on when a new season launches. As you can see, it says fragile and will expire at the end of season 19. Who knows? It could bug out and just expire a season early or something. So always double check when you start a new season. And that'll tie into other stuff, which I'll be talking about now. So in your battle pass, which I'll show you in a second here, as you see right here, you can get XP bonus tiers depending how your season pass goes. So the first tip I would give people who have the season pass, of course, would be make sure that you get to around level 5. Why? Because at level 5 you get your first XP bonus when you're in a fire team, so you get an additional 2% of XP when you're popping all your bounties. So plus the Ghost and this is already a 14% gain. Now on top of that, you also have the Shared Wisdom buff, which I can't show you alone, unfortunately, but it would be on the screen right here. Shared Wisdom is a buff that you get when you join a fire team or a friend, and anywhere except in orbit, you would get the buff on the screen here, and you would get XP gains off of that as well when you hand in bounties or do pinnacles, etc., etc. So you want to combine all of those things when you go into a season launch to get the maximum amount of XP out of that. And finally, one more thing I want to talk about is seasonal challenges. So the first week, most likely, will have 10 seasonal challenges just like you see right here. And they are actually pretty beefy XP. So for the first week, they'll probably only be doing like this, Challenger XP Plus, which I believe are worth around 100k experience, which is a lot, especially starting out a season. But some of them also might contain larger XP chunks, such as, I believe it goes up to Triple Plus, but more than likely, it'll just be a single, maybe a double thrown in here or there. There's a double example right there. It says plus plus. I don't know why they go with the plus plus system. Just say like double XP, triple XP. But anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. So you want to keep an eye on these. Any ones that are pretty easy and you can knock out fast, you want to target. And then make sure you don't hand them in until you're in a fire team to get those optimized gains. Final thing to mention before talking about the bounties themselves is this screen right here on the bottom left. As you can see, it says 29 out of 63. I get this question all the time. How many bounties can you hold? Where do I tell how many I have? And then why can I not hold that many? So 63 is the total that you can hold per character for a total of 189. And then the reason why you might not be able to hold 63 on that particular character is because it shares the screen with the quests right here. If you have a quest on here, it counts as a bounty basically. So ideally, if you can, clear out all your quests on your characters if you're bounty hoarding, so you can maximize the amount of slots that you can hold for bounties. Maximum being 63, so try to get this down to 0 if you can, or as little as possible. Mine will be completely clear by the end of this event. Now that we talked about all that, let's talk about bounties. So I'm going to talk about dailies first, and then go into weeklies. What I want to cover in dailies is simple. Weeklies, obviously there's not 63 of them in the game, so you're going to need to fill once you're done with weeklies. That's where dailies come in. What you can do to optimize your XP gains for day 1 is save up 7 vendor bounties from each of Zavala, Shax, Drifter, and Banshee. The reason I say 7 is because there used to be a bug in the game where if you would save 8 of those bounties going into a new season and pick up the vendor reward for that season, that engram would turn up to be a previous cap. So let's say the cap would be 1600 next season, you would still get a 1570 drop. You know, so you kind of just screw yourself out of a drop. So to avoid that, I always tell people, even if the bug doesn't exist anymore technically, I always say just get 7 of each vendor for each daily and just leave it at that. Then when the new season launches, you go to that vendor, pick up a daily or repeatable if they're all out, and then do that, hand it in, and then bam, you get your reward, and it's the guaranteed brand new light level drop for that vendor, no bugs attached. So for example, you want to have Zavala here. I already completed it, but it'll say 0 out of 8. You want to have it say 7 out of 8. Shax, 7 out of 8. Banshee, Drifter, 7 out of 8. Additionally, Hawthorne gets leveled up into a Pinnacle +1 drop from just doing activities. You want to keep note of that. Don't pick this up right away. It is not a powerful, even though the screen will say it is. It always says that. I don't know why they haven't fixed that, but it's actually a +1 Pinnacle. Just some trivia there. Moving on. Alternatively, if you don't want to play Gambit / Crucible, totally understandable. What you can do is instead replace those with daily planet bounties. So, Seventh Stronghold, Europa, Moon, EDZ, Cosmodrome, Nessus, Eternity, Dreaming City, whatever floats your boat, fill it in with those dailies. Now let's talk about weeklies. Weekly bounties are your prime source of experience in the game, and to be more specific, they give 3 times as much as daily bounties, so you want to save as many as you possibly can / want to do. And the first vendor we're looking at for weekly bounties is Hawthorne. So she has weekly clan bounties that you can do. Obviously, you need to be in a clan to get these done. These range from doing a raid activity to doing a Nightfall, doing Crucible and Gambit. So if you don't want to do ridiculous bounties like play 10 Gambit matches per character or 10 Crucible matches per character, then you can avoid these if you'd like. But these are all options to you. I believe there are 8 total clan bounties, but let me check on my list right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yup, so there are 8 total clan bounties that you can do between now and then that you can stack up if you would like to. And let's move on to the next vendor. This one is more of a quick PSA. Do not save Solstice bounties. The main reason for this is because this is an event bounty right here. All of them are. And generally speaking, event bounties get deleted at the end of a season from people's inventories, whether it just be one character or maybe all your characters. Either way, you shouldn't run the risk of saving these when you can just save other stuff in its place and guarantee your experience that way. Next up, you have Shahan with his 2 weekly bounties as you see over here. One for public events and then one for just elemental kills. These are, I think, by far the easiest weekly bounties to complete in the game. They're very, very quick, very little effort, and you can just get these done while doing Cosmodrome daily bounties to save up as well, which are very, very simple. For example, this is like do 1 patrol, 3 super kills, 5 melee kills. It's extremely bare bones and nice and easy to stack up. Next on the list is Varix. Varix has a total of 4 weekly bounties that you can stack up, but you can only stack up 1 of the hunt bounties per week at a time, and then 1 additional weekly that you can get from him whenever you want. So for example, this week it's Phylax, the warrior defeated, and then 2 weeks from now it'll be the other 2 hunted targets that are on Europa as usual. I believe the other one's Dark Priestess, which is over here, up here, and then the Technocrat, which would be over here. And then you have the general weekly bounty that you can just do on Europa whenever you want over here. I personally just do Lost Sectors to get this done. I believe it's 3 runs total, and then you're good to go. And again, you can just do daily bounties on Europa while you are doing this. The Moon is up next, and here you actually have 2 vendors where you can pick up weekly bounties here. I just want to state right away, since people are going to ask, yes, the Moon bounties do in fact give you XP from the weeklies, even though they don't say they do. Trust me, I've been doing this for, how long has the Moon been out? Shadowkeep is 3 years? Jesus, it's been a long time. Anyway, these weekly bounties from Eris right here do 1 each Lost Sector, and then do a bunch of waves for the altars. They do give XP, even though they say the rewards are only give, like, Glimmer and some items. And then over at the Lectern, over here, you also have 2 weekly bounties, these having to do with Nightmare Hunts. So one of them is just kill Nightmares on the Moon, or rather in Lost Sectors across the system, and then defeat Nightmares and Nightmare Hunts. Very, very simple and easy. Takes about 10 minutes or so to do. All 4 of them give you XP, and then we're going to move on to the next planet. Next is Zur's Jabroni Island. Over here, we can get 1 weekly bounty from the Star Horse. You have to actually get strange coins to be able to purchase these bounties, so you might have to do some Dares of Eternity to get these. Once you do, just go ahead and pick up one of these 5 coin bounties. You don't have to do the 7th coin one. They're all worth the same amount of XP. You can only hold 1 at a time, so just pick whichever one that you think will be easier and faster for you to do. So, for example, with hand cannon kills or sword kills, it's up to you. I would personally take sword kills for this week. And once you save this weekly bounty, we have 1 more vendor remaining. Finally, we have Petra on the Dreaming City. Petra, technically speaking, has a total of 7 weekly bounties that you can do. However, the Ascendant Challenge bounties that she has rotate once per week, and there are 6 challenges total, so you would need 6 weeks to prep for these. And then on top of that, you also have the Gateway Between Worlds weekly that is just there every week to do through the Blind Well. So if you're planning to stack weekly bounties, you want to stop by her each week, get a new Ascendant Challenge bounty, and do that to save this weekly bounty. If you've never done these Ascendant Challenges or you're new to them and don't know how they work, I do have guides for every single one on my channel since Forsaken release, which was quite a while ago now, a couple of years, in case that would help you as well. And that is all the weekly bounties that you can save during this season going into Season 18. Finally, let's talk about prepping and saving materials. As you can see in my Postmaster, it's not quite done yet, but you get the general idea. You can save various things, such as Ascendant Shards to upgrade your armor when new stuff drops and you want to get it to 10. Things like that, especially if you want to get armor from like Kingsfall and Wrath, which notoriously looked really, really good. Prisms, kind of same concept, upgrade your armor, maybe some exotics you get in the new season, things like that. Ascendant Alloys, slightly different. New guns that came out in the season that you may be able to craft quickly, and you want to get enhanced perks on them because they're really, really good. And or you want to save it for when you get weapons inside the raid, and you want to immediately craft and get enhanced perks on those as well. I'll have a separate video on how to farm Ascendant Alloys in case you're curious. Moving on down, we have Spoils of Conquest. This is pretty self-explanatory. You save up spoils in your postie, then you go to the raid, you look at what weapons you want, you kill the final boss, hopefully you got 1 drop of that gun, and then you go crazy trying to get rolls until, you get the craft, and then you're crafting your perfect god roll. But until then, you got a random roll. Finally, upgrade modules, self-explanatory. Upgrade modules are used to upgrade stuff, and you want to have these handy going into a new season or expansion because you just want to be able to upgrade new stuff and use that immediately instead of just lacking onto your old stuff, your old armor that you may not even want to keep, and you just want to upgrade immediately, especially for like, people that care about pinnacle cap and stuff going into high-end activities. Just nice to have around, not mandatory, but good to have. Now you may be wondering, how do I save these? And I'll explain. So briefly put, you have to go into your inventory and make sure the inventory item for that particular thing is full to the max. So for example, if I'm farming Ascendant Shards, I want to have these at 10, which is the maximum. Then the next time I get an Ascendant Shard from like a GM Nightfall, which is guaranteed to give a shard, it'll go to my Postmaster because my inventory item is full. So you stack up to 10, it goes to Post. Ascendant Alloys, same thing, go to 10, go to Post. Upgrade modules 25, the rest go to Post. By the way, you can only have 2 stacks of each kind of thing. So for example, 10 here, then 10 in the Post, 10 here, 10 in the Post, 25 here, 25 in the Post. 240 for spoils in your inventory and 240 in your Post. And that's per Postmaster, by the way, so each character is individual. And then finally, basically everything else, Prism, same thing. The final prep item I want to talk about, well, let me just pull up the image to kind of paint you a picture, shall we? I don't have them in my Postmaster yet, but I will, and this is what I'm talking about. This is an old video that I made. I like to stack exotics on my Postmaster for various reasons, but we're not going to get into that. The idea, though, here is that you can stack exotic engrams in your post for 2 main reasons. 1, maybe some exotics are getting buffed and you're just going to want to wait to see what R3.0 brings, and you want to have these ready to pop after that. And 2, of course, is bringing new exotics into the game, which they typically do now for 1 armor piece for each class going into a season, and you just want to get those right away. Now, there's 2 benefits to this. 1, obviously just saving the exotics, but 2, because you save exotics in your post, you can open these on a particular Lost Sector day for a particular armor piece and get that kind of armor type straight into your inventory. Just to give you an example, I'm going to make a whole separate video on this, by the way, because it's stupidly complicated, but the general idea is, right now, currently, if I have exotic engrams in my post, right, I'm going to look at the current Lost Sector, which is on the moon. It is legs. If I have engrams in my post right now, and I would open 1 exotic engram, I would get guaranteed legs, because it's tied to the sector. You get the exotic from the Lost Sector, put it in your post, and it's just tied to the sector forever. So if it's boots, you're going to get boots. If it's helmet, you're going to get helmet. And this helps because if the new exotic for my character, my warlock, gets new boots, and the day is boots, I open my save engrams from the previous season into the new season, and I get guaranteed boots, which gives me the chance to get the new boots. Really helpful. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on that too much. I will make an updated video talking about exotics and all that, an efficient way to save them, as well as speed runs for each lost sector, so you want to go zoom through them really quick. And that's it for that. I think I've covered everything that needs to be covered in detail, at least for general tips going into a new season. If there's anything else that I missed and you're curious about, feel free to comment and I'll try to answer that. But other than that, hopefully this helps you guys prep for the new / reprise raid. It's Kingsfall. Don't fight me about it, alright? Alright, chat? And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Also, if you enjoyed, a like, a share, maybe a subscribe would be very helpful. It does help the channel, would be appreciated. Also, I'm going to be streaming daily on Twitch, twitch.tv/SneakyBeaver. You can get the link in the description below. And yes, I will be streaming the raid launch as well, trying to go for World's First with Math Class. You may have heard of us. I don't know, 2402, haha, life sucks. Okay, catch you guys then. Goodbye.